We are, in spite of a temporary revival of conservatism, I'm sure you know that the situation our government got into since 1933 was of such a state that there's no way to pull out completely, and all you need is one good more left-wing man in, and you're gone. There are certain items that don't ever get broadcast, and you have to get by the daily newspapers to find them out. The daily newspapers, of course, have never printed the truth and never will. They're not about to. It hurt their income. It hurt the circulation. But when Kennedy was president, two things happened that you wouldn't believe. And I have the number and name of the book published under the State Department, and the number of the bill passed. And the bills were passed when Kennedy was in that would give the President of the United States complete power and authority to confiscate your storage room, your food, your supplies, your tools, your house, and your land, and remove you and your children to any designated place by the government. This was on what we call an emergency act. Concurrent with that, when Kennedy was president, concurrent with that, was a book published by the State Department which said the ultimate plan and policy of the United States would be to make the United Nations so powerful that it would be an international police force that would control all the nations, and no nation would be able to rise against it. Now, that's what went on in this country back there about 15 years ago. I believe one of the most remarkable things I ever read was by a converted German named Dirks. And Dirks, of course, had an IQ 20 points higher than Albert Einstein. Dr. Gerhard Dirks was an East German. His IQ is 208, which is 50 above genius. And you may not know it, but Gerhard Dirks holds 140 patents on IBM. He has over 140 patents with IBM and has even attempted theoretically to construct the human brain. That is, the man I'm getting ready to quote is at least 3 times as smart as anybody you know. And here's what he said. I'm quoting him. This is Gerhard Dirks, IQ 208, with 140 patents on IBM. Quote, are you listening? You better listen to this. This man is certainly smarter than anybody in the state of Florida. It'd do you well to listen. Gerhard Dirks, quote, now listen. When the communists take over a city, are you listening? This is a man who was there when they took over, a first-hand eyewitness. When the communists take over a city, they put in some of their own very competent people. Then these competent appoint the grossly incompetent. They take a man of no education, or a man who cannot read or write, but has a social promotion, and no training, and they say, you are a mayor, or you are a superintendent, or you are a secretary. And they pay him or her and put them in a good place to stay. Then they take someone else, maybe someone out of jail, or out of court, and they say, you are the new superintendent, or you are the new principal, or you are the chief of police, or you are a commissioner. Then they point out to these men and their friends that they never had it so good before. And they're right. Are you listening? I'm quoting a man with an IQ of 208 that is smart anybody ever taught you a day in your life. Quote, pretty soon the city doesn't run very well. Pretty soon the police department isn't functioning. Pretty soon there's trouble with the city finances. They don't know what to do. So they're desperate. They don't want to lose their new positions. So what can these incompetent people do? They go to the one who appointed them and say, what do we do? Now this is what the new authorities are waiting for. The man who appointed the incompetent now tells them what to do. The orders of the dictatorship can now be carried out willingly by the incompetents that they've been appointed. They're kept in power through fear. Now, you know what Gerhard Dirks said? He said, I see this thing going on in the United States. Anyone with political power for political reasons appoints somebody under him who would not otherwise be qualified for the job in order to increase his own power. Are you listening? You can rule a whole country with an iron fist by appointing people who don't really qualify, but will do anything to stay in office because they don't really know what they're doing. Now, how do you stop this communist movement? I'm quoting of a man who has an IQ of 208. That is, he could tell Einstein where to head in. Quote, "One thing troubles me. Communists and all dictatorships, for that matter, use paperwork and red tape to control things. You have to have a permit for everything. I see this growing in America at an alarming rate. To build something, you do something. To operate something, you fill out more and more papers. And the incompetents who keep an office because of their superiors, and they become a tool for someone to come along and use. It can spell DISASTER. Once you try to pretend that people are competent who are not competent, and set up your own standards for competency which don't make them competent, and once you try to say a person qualifies because of something they do where the requirements weren't met that enable them to do the job, and put in those people, you create a thing where they be kept in their position through fear. Then they'll do what they're told. You don't create a democracy that way. You create a fascist dictatorship or a Soviet Comintern. That's how it's done. You say, who said that? A man smarter than anybody you know in the state of Florida.